I don't know if y'all familiar with the statement or y'all seen the statement, heard about it. The comments that Andrew Oldness make about dancehall, the effect on the music and the culture and all of that. We see lately we're not lately, it's been a while, but where Malik Foster gets shot and Teddy Johnson gets shot and a couple of the Tivoli ball of them go bust big robbery up at St. Thomas there and they things. So what have to say about that?
Yeah,
well, first of all, Jiggy, read the statement why Prime Minister said, because I think
you want to read the statement?
because I think that's very important when we see these things. Somebody actually read what was said, and then we try to contextualize actually when they say. So let's not hypothesize, because I don't think that the people them who even they comment on it actually understand and read the exact quote.
I'm going to read two quotes from what the Prime Minister said, because obviously his speech was too long. But one of the ones that I found was that he said, in the last few decades, our music has been overtaken by violence. By the music we are producing, we are devaluing our culture, which is a very important asset for our economic development. That's one of his statements. But then he also followed up and says, serious work needs to be done in our creative industries so that we can produce works of arts that are edifying and uplifting to the society. So those are the two statements that stood out to me.
How can anyone disagree with those statements? Those to me are statements of facts. That's what that sounds like to me. Maybe people don't like the messenger in that case, but to me, those were statements of fact. Should he be the one saying it? People can argue that part of it. But again, from my perspective, when I hear that, I hear a statement of fact and one that I wholeheartedly believe in.
Yeah, so before we came on the live, we're having a discussion about the same topic, and I mentioned something of the start. I'm saying that two things here are true, well, maybe even three things. The Prime Minister made these statements to deflect from his ineptitude in curbing the crime and violence. I have to just be honest, that's what he did. However, everything that he said was 100% true, right? If I saw those words and I did not know it was Burgrad who said it, I would agree with it. Everything that he said was 100% true. And the third thing is that he's the wrong person to send the message, because people are going to point to say, hey, you have been here for 5-6 years. You have done nothing about the crime. As a matter of fact, the crime has gotten worse. So you can't make this statement because it looks as if you're deflecting. So people, if you look at all the commentary, people are using that same thing to bash it. So most people I've talked to didn't even read his statement. They read the headlines of the article and they made a comment and they dismissed it, even though what he's saying is correct. If you are making art, music is art. You want music to uplift and go all over the world, right? But if everything in the music is, yo, me go shoot in the head of AK or whatever it is, it's neither here nor there. But the other point to this is that the music we are listening now, or the dancehall music, is simply a reflection of our society, right? It is unfortunate. Even the educated people who are supposed to be educated, this is how we think in the broad spectrum of Jamaica. Regardless of what you do, the term is that you're dead. So if somebody steps on your shoes, you're dead. If somebody hit you with a car, you're dead. If you cheat on your girlfriend, you're dead. Anything you do in Jamaica, you're dead. Like if you and your family argue over land, the young lady who was killed in Trelawney in the church, there were several voice notes that came out. And people are saying that, yes, she's dead because she don't want to share up the money. So everything you do in Jamaica, there's someone saying, yes, she's dead. Right? The reasons don't even make any sense. The young lady who was killed in Portmore, raped and killed, people came out and said, why did she go in the car? So you're saying that because I go in the car to go to work, someone is supposed to kill me? Right? Some of the reasoning we have as a nation don't make any sense. So you see the same kind of thought process reflected in our music. So if every day I get up and I listen to that type of music, and I am already in that culture, it's like a cycle. So we say, if a boy this means he dead. So the moment you get in an argument, the first thing you're thinking in your mind, say, yo, me go kill him, or me get me ready them go kill him, because it's a cycle. Me listen to music. That's what the society says. That's everything I do. Dead. So that's my whole thing. The Prime Minister was right, but he can't be the messenger because it's now deflected from the actual true points of the whole message.
Sports well?
Huh?
Me see my make up in PS sports with, so I want him talk.
I never see the video. I mean, me and Jiggy read a few inserts from his speech a while ago. I mean, I could elaborate on that, but I would rather deflect it a little bit to sports because a lot of times, well, music is culture, and sports and culture affect our society a lot, especially as Jamaicans. It has a big influence. I remember 97 general election. We were expecting it to be the bloodiest since 80. Now, fortunately, Jamaica qualified like probably less than a month before election, and the aura, the whole atmosphere, there was so much joy, happiness, peace. The expectations of us going to France '98, that people completely forgot that me are Lebanese and you're Spanglers. You see me? So that election was peaceful. There were, you have few local altercations here and there, but what was expected, not even a tenth of it didn't happen. So what I'm gonna get at is I know we have to take stance where COVID related issues are concerned in Jamaica, but we have seen where the developing nations do. And if we're trying to follow suit with them, trying to emulate the things they do, then probably we could come back in with a few sporting events. Because right now, the young minds in Jamaica, they have nothing to occupy them more than social media, and trust me, they're very occupied with social media. But at least you know that sports, especially football, would try to distract some of them somewhat from the other things going on, or deflect the things that are affecting them. So I feel like that's probably something that the Prime Minister needs to address. If them bringing back sports, if even just like other leagues around the world without the spectators, with distancing as much as you can, taking all the necessary precautions. So, like I said, culture is one thing, but sports also impact a lot. I mean, the culture impact our sports because sometimes the violence get caught up in sports, while at the same time, sports impact the influence that violence are reduces the violence in the society. So, yeah, blacks.
The only issue I have with that, there's a general level of unruliness for the Jamaica. So you're going to have a game play in England or in the US somewhere, and nobody no jump the fence. In general, no jump the fence and go Ghana game.
Bro, we learned that in high school, bro. Stop
right now, if you put one game at Jamaica with the level of what they want, everybody gone same way. Listen, man, every day I see one party on social media, on WhatsApp, somebody have one party. Right now, yesterday, the government of Ontario in Canada just locked down Toronto again. The entire Ontario. Most people don't know Toronto, some it's called Toronto, but the whole place locked down again. When them lock it down, we don't like it. Me upset like hell, but we don't tell me what. Me turn on my yard. Them not stay in the yard of Jamaica. Them not follow the simplest instruction. Why you think that if you give them sports, then go follow the instruction?
Blacks. Yeah. The Canadian viewers are saying too much patois. Can you?
Yes, for real. Yes. That's true. Blacks, I'll ask a question, Blacks. Does the Canadian government give the lower income family subsidies?
Yes, there is some subsidies.
Okay. So how can you compare Toronto to Jamaica when that is not happening?
But
if I'm hungry and my only way I know to make money is to throw a dance. Remember, we can't forget where we're coming from, When we come from high school, we used to have people who call them a promoter. That is all they do. They don't know about any other means of getting an income than promoting a dance. You put a bar, a dance on the side of the street, then put a poster, they advertise, and you go there, you buy liquor, then trust they get it on consignment, right? You trust the liquor bite. So how can you then compare Toronto to Jamaica? If I am hungry and I have 3 and 4 kids, 5 baby mother, what am I gonna do, Blacks? Honestly, what I'm gonna do?
Jiggy, have you ever seen one of the party? You see, me can't put on any party me want. You see, and the people out there, and them are the one of the problem. And they want to tell about here. It's the one for attending these parties that the problem.
You're far from St. James, but you know, say not to go. The man who sell peanut got the party. The man who sell weed got the party. The man who sell stone. You need a man who sell stone at the party, right? All these things.
And fake Viagra.
Right, yes, you answer fake Viagra. No, but even not laugh. Yo, we have to be honest when we have a discussion, bro. Right? Even have a brother who sells stone party can nice, bro. You know? Just come on, man. We have to be honest when we have discussions, bro. The Jamaican government is not giving the youths any form of sustenance if you are shut down the country. People can't stay home with them woman and knock them about finance and money and farming and all these things. They will kill people. They're not making excuse to kill people. They will kill people.
Jiggy, I am not really one to say that they must lock it down, you know. But what I'm saying is that there's a general amount of unruliness, and even the simplest of instruction, put on one mask.
100% facts. 100% facts.
Just try to do some social distance. This is the simplest one. They refuse to do it.
100.
And the amount of conspiracy theorists were down there who they push it, and enough of them from the entertainment industry, these anti-vaxxers and all these other people. Those are the issues I'm having a problem with. Honestly, most of the measures, I don't believe them. I don't support them. But at the same time, you see, the same thing that makes a person don't obey that is the same unruliness that leads people to shoot people. It's a general unruliness in a culture right now, Jiggy.
I'm not unruly, I'm not a Jamaican. So if I take away the unruliness, how would I be a Jamaican?
But Jiggy, we can't aspire to be a better Jamaica if we keep endorsing those things. We have to at some point say, listen, man, we need to step up and become better than what we are and what we have been. You know, if you go back to the music and you talk about what's going on and all that stuff, and when we're talking about the Black Lives Matter thing and the kneeling, and we said about it, say, boy, the phones have helped to broadcast it.
Yes.
I remember back in the day when I used to hear music in the 90s, because they were so violent like hell in the 90s also. But whenever you see the videos them too, you see now,
it wasn't
the videos that accompany it actually has brought it to a new level. It makes it even more visual for these youths. And somehow they are so much more impressionable, and because they also have the means, because the guns were just not available back in the days. Now it is so accessible. A gun, when I was going to high school, a ratchet knife was the thing that everybody had. Now it's a gun, everyone has one. So the same man is with a juke or him ratchet or him ice pick. No, he can shoot you. You know, so, and that has made the overall violence just kind of escalate. So the same person right now who said, boy, them for dead. In the 90s, he was actually saying it, you know, but telling what, he never have a gun, and he have to get close to you.
He couldn't spread that violence, just like the voice note with the young lady who was killed in church. Nobody could send a voice message to someone and say, yeah, man, you know she should die because she didn't share the money and send it all over the country for millions of people.
Technology has also done it.
And then what has happened? People hear it and say, oh, yeah, you know, she's dead for real. And then you have tons of people agreeing with her, which makes absolutely no sense. But another thing is that...
Well, just one point to that. Just one point to that. It was crazy how just after a lady passed away and get shot, everybody kind of, with the advent of WhatsApp or whatever, that's what most Jamaican people use. It was crazy how, like, right after everybody had the story and everybody kept talking and speculating what happened, everybody kind of formed a narrative because of all I voice note them. So till all I next morning when I got work, a Jamaican girl at work, they show me some different voice note, and all they tell me say, yeah, the brother went left in phone and all of these things. So news get carried or conveyed so quickly now. It's crazy. You understand what I mean? And again, society that is so impressionable. Whatever people try to put out there, it's easy to put these things out there. You know what I mean? So yeah, the social media thing and the facts that we can communicate, and it's a much smaller world because of that. So therefore, these things help enhance the violence that's going on, I think.
This is my question. If I make a 2-minute message about forgiveness and I send it to you, would you listen the entire 2 minutes?
Well,
you know, these are the things. Like, if we send it to you, are you going to take that? Just like, everybody send that voice message with the lady disparaging the dead. And I send you a message about forgiveness and say, yo, you're bridging this, yo, make it go. If a man says something to you, it can't change you. Your feelings are hurt, move on. You will not send that message to anybody else. You will not send the message because you don't believe in that. People don't believe in that anymore.
One Greg.
Well, controversy do sell, but and it gets played upon. But go ahead, Greg. Sorry.
Jiggy, to add to what you just said, I remember early last year when the pandemic just started taking course in America, and a lot of us were scared, panicking, all kind of thoughts I go through our minds. I remember I did a 2-minute prayer video. I sent it out. And not even 40% of whom I sent it to on WhatsApp, the video got a blue tick. Because it showed me in a praying posture. So right away there, and it shows there 2 minutes. So right away there, I mean, who have 2 minutes for years to watch we got pray? Seriously?
Great.
But send a video with a man a chop a next man or somebody get shoot up. Yeah, man, before they even done watching them and share it too.
Greg, this is where I agree with some of what was said in relation to entertainment. Because entertainers have the ability to more eloquently or more from a populist way put out that information, that same information and influence. And they're not doing it. So the same way I said, they can put out a violent song. If they craft their thing around that same conscious message, they can have an influence. It's not because of them can't make things bad enough, but I'm saying they can also be a part of the solution. I would know at all say, listen, I remember the first thing me go at Jammer. The first year they keep sting at Jammer. Me left man to be and go sting at Jammer. I want something me wear. I'm lens. One gabardine pants me wear. I don't have no jeans. Jeans. That's all. Gabardine pants me wear. Now the only man they have gabardine pants because I have no jeans to wear. But when Bounty Killer come on stage and say, well, listen, man.
You know your trouble facts.
My God, my church shoes mash up the way the place they go on. Me mash up my church shoes in the night. but again, I took that as entertainment. I didn't take it as an intermission. I must kill somebody tomorrow. And I was about 13 or 14 years old. But a lot of people know when you see an accompanying video with that, when you see somebody with something look like a real gun, and also you have access to one, it changes the whole thing, and that influence now is it's at one point, like growing up, me grow up Cambridge. Me live between Montego and Cambridge. But this is the case. Crime was something that happened somewhere else growing up. Now it's everywhere. It's so rampant right across. If you live at Portland, if you live at St. Thomas, St. Mary, you know somebody with a gun. The first time I see a gun, I was a big man. I don't know a police and soldier carry. Now, every little youth who is 6-year-old, I've seen a gun. I've been around a gun. So it's almost like a machete, or it used to be a machete. Now it's a gun.
Crazy.
Mr. Carlington asked, how do we get rid of the guns? I have no idea. But one thing I know, it's not the government who is going to do it. It's until the citizens of Jamaica decide that we have had enough and we are going to start reject these type of people around us. Stop facilitating when mothers and fathers and aunties and big brothers and so forth. Stop facilitating them relatives and family members. That's when it's gonna happen. Because the crime in Jamaica, not all of it is not random. It's me and Jiggy have an argument, so we know each other. There's no way police can get in between that and stop that problem. If me and Jiggy have a problem and me have a gun and Jiggy have a gun, and me say I'll shoot him before him shoot me, there's nothing a government or police or whatever can do about it. So until we individually decide that we want to get rid of the society, it's not gonna happen.
Bojo, I want to point out some.
As I say, if something happens, then be dead.
I want to point out some music that we grew up on. Tony Rebel, If Jai standing by my side, when I biggest song in the 90s, right?
Yeah.
Luciana, Lord give me strength. Right? Right? Never give up my smile. Right? Garnet Silk. Wait on, Lord, watch over my shoulders tonight. Right? And Lord give us strength. Them are some of the biggest songs in the 90s. Everywhere, every party, them are playing now. Where is that today? All the rest of them turn freaky now. I don't want to do them song anymore. So what are you turning to? No,
I think in that era, we wouldn't say accountability, but watch out. You see, back then, music like that stand out. Things and time change. Now, if you're not sing, just like I said, if it dead and them thing there, you can't go tell one 15, 16-year-old say, oh look, make we sing one little hero now, gun no the down there. You know why you're not sitting there?
I think good part. I think again that's why I write down some things right here, so I just point out. I think good art standing. The music is good.
This I want to blame the artists them for. Well, me can't blame them either. Them want to stay relevant. Them now go put out a song with the mindset say, yo, this now gonna be a hit, but at the end of the day, it's a good song. Them not look on it like that, you know. Them want to know that every song what them drop is a hit song, it's a trend. That's the thing. Them refuse to remain relevant. Everybody want to be at the top. So them are going to feed into that type of music where the audience require. Just like I remember with TJ, a long time you know TJ sing, and him never did get the limelight. And after him boss and big and whatever, them ask him why I'm not do certain song, and the man say, "Yo, this a work for me, you know." And when him start about this, the thing take off. So the man say that a work for him, so that him a do. Now him can do whatever because him done win the fans already. So the fact of them being relevant or them trending, that them have to keep up with because I guess that pay them bills.
Yeah, Shane, you're right down something, but more of say Nation Boss' first song was Me Not Like Humans, and then his second song was a gun tune for shoot boy on the head. So the Me Not Like Humans, and that's why I burn out the one Greg when he post the song because I say, yo, the man followed out with a conscious song first. And I explain everything that somebody do to him, and then the next song him followed out with a gun song. Now still.
Nation Boss.
Yeah. Well, me go make Shane go first. Shane, hold your thought. Let me respond to him. That was not his first or second song. The youth I do freestyle for quite a while now, years now. Him just freestyle him 30-second, 45-second videos and post them. Now, these songs getting released were based on his producer. So the fact that the gun tune get released secondly, and producer released that. I know them the song they alone have. Anyways, Shane, like me say, please hold that time. Make sure she remember what did I say. Now, the kind of music that gets highlighted, may agree somewhat to what Bojo say. I mean, if you're an up-and-coming artist, it's hard for you put out culture, roots, reggae, or, you know, conscious songs and get bust. It's hard. But if you're already established, I mean, look on the Popcorn and Barry's Hammond. Which song I get hits like that right now? You know? Jiggy, you look like you don't know the song of me attack. God is love. Popcorn and Barry's Hammond. I probably the hottest song out right now. I mean, nobody never see that side of Popcorn coming. You see me? But him establish, Barry's establish, then can put out them kind of song there. That song will get played. Now somebody like DJ High, which for like 5 years, me continuously post DJ High song them on my WhatsApp and my Facebook. Dog, me see people all message me and I say, dog, are you an artist? I say, no, me just like the message when I preach. And him try so hard. And Jamaica people continue to reject him. Him can't get a bus. So him do, he end up link up with Javelani and do some gun song. You know, we lose a good one there, sir. No, can't blame the Jamaica people alone. Can't blame the artists alone. You know who are the main ones I blame? The producers. Because if you got a producer with a song like that, and you know, seems like I said, boy, he go reach to a certain crowd. The producer now wasting time and put it out there. He not give the time of day. You see me? So when an artist says, boy, I produce and I run with that song, you know. I mean, look at somebody like Google. Google say if you watch an interview with Google about an hour, the interview last one. The man I try for years. Me not even know say Google the boat from Elephant Man up on the river upon the bank. I from the entire Google I try. You see me?
Who watched that interview too? I saw that interview.
Yeah, and I just hear what name? Serrano, what's Serrano them crew anyway? Whoever was them producer.
That's it.
I hear them hear him song play on the phone. I say, yo, like that way I look for. And right there, so a bunch of artists with that same kind of conscious music for about 1.5 years spell there. And that did I go on because a different producer hears something and decide to take a chance with it. If them producer and I take the chance with it, the artists then go continue to do gun songs. So some of these producers have to be blamed as well.
Before Shane losing train of thought.
Jig it up in eyes, that's Shane time.
No, I think again I'll get back to the point where I think the Prime Minister when he tried to get across is that these entertainers have to be more accountable. I think that then if you tell them, this is the thing, if you tell them, say, so well influential, you know what I mean, and if you like blow smoke, you know what I mean, and tell them how influential them is, then we be happy, then we happily take that compliment. But if you try to approach it from a different standpoint and say, do you know how influential you actually are in terms of the music you put out? Then they go start get defensive. Missy Movado, and I forgot who else. Massacre. Okay, yeah. And again, I don't think they understand the context. Sometimes when people tell you something, you have to try to contextualize what then they try to say. You understand? Nobody in try to attack dancehall. He might never say, you know what I mean, cancel dancehall. Man, as I said, the art we try to put out, I wonder if we can actually try to change the messaging. Even if you talk about girl truth. You understand what I mean? Because it don't have to be all, I don't think, it don't have to be all culture music. You can just change it from all of this violence. That's what I'm thinking. To something else and create a different art and see if that can help change the mind of these young kids. I think that's all the Prime Minister when he tries to say, and I'm pretty sure that he knows that he not do a good enough job. But it's a whole societal thing. It's not one thing that is going to stop this violence, you know? That's what many try to say.
I just want to add one part to this, though. I know, one of the criticism I saw of the Prime Minister was that he's hypocritical because he answered to the name Bro God. And, the last election before that, he went I'm a champion boy and stuff like that, and then use a whole bunch of dub plates and them election campaign and stuff like that. And you can look at it two ways. You can look at it hypocritical. And I'm not going to fight a man say hypocritical, but I also look at it one second way and say, so much events I've seen at Jamaica House where dancehall artists are performing there. Ding dong, they perform at Jamaica House. There was a time when we were growing up. If you're not the best culture artist, if you don't name somebody like Dennis Brown, you would never see Jamaica House. Shabba, Ninja, Beanie, Bunty, Buju Banton in the days when we were growing up would never go to Jamaica House and perform at anything at all. Now you see people like Ding Dong and other artists perform state-sponsored event at Jamaica House. That to me say that this person wants to embrace the culture, but you need to give him something more. And if you do give it to him, he will put you on a platform. His first time he got when he won the first time, it was this guy from My Dream. That's a guy who was at his thing. Before that, it's only some opera singer and some other people we used to see at these things whenever you have a state event. If you're not singing. No, but it's true. If you're not singing some classical thing, that's who you used to see. And a gospel artist used to be at these events. But when time he won the first time, it was a guy coming and say, my dream. He was the one who was there. So as much as people can say it's hypocritical, and I'm okay with it. But at the same time, you can't be hypocritical either on the other side.
And the funny thing is, that brother was saying my dream is from a PNP stronghold. And he's still inviting inauguration, you see me? Well, whatever they call it in Jamaica.
We have said that, Buju, you made a point that the youth them right now just they're singing the violence, or they're doing music with violence in it because that's what everybody wants to hear. But I'd like to point out, for the first time yesterday, I heard a song called Leader, and it's by Dexter Daps. I don't even know who this guy is. And it says Leader. I said, okay, I click on it, and the song said, spread your wings. Nothing is impossible. If I can do it, you can do it. Spread your wings. That's what the song was talking about. The song the lead and see. So you can't tell me, and if you look on the comment, them are millions of views. So you can't tell me, say right now, that is all the youths them want to hear is violence, is how you bring forward the message. And I'm in my Massacre. I don't know who Massacre is, right? I'd have to go look him up, but me here saying name Massacre.
Yeah, that's right.
I can't, whatever that means, right? But the songs. I listen to the word. I get the word part, and I listen to it, and I'm like, that's an amazing song, and I saved it because I will listen to it again. But you can't tell me that all the kids want to listen to is violence when I am seeing music out there that people want to listen to that has nothing to do with violence.
There was a point in a 2000. I'm sorry. There's a point in a 2003. So 2003 and 2004 and summer 2005 where culture went forward back in the mainstream. Wicked. People like Iway and people like
Richie Spice.
Richie Spice. I was exactly.
Abidjan.
100% Fantan Mojo before in do all like foolishness. But that's not the point, right? That's not the point. But yeah, it went forward back, wicked, and everybody when they listen to culture, it was crazy. You understand what I mean? And again, it's about the art we put out. You understand?
All right. For respond to Jiggy. Me know me did say most, well, all, but majority.
No, remember, so Canadian fans want English, Queen's English.
Yeah, majority of the younger generations want to hear that type of music, Jiggy. They want to hear that type. I'm not saying there are not good songs out there. They're not good. I'm not saying there are not being good songs produced. It's not enough. We could use a bit more. That's what I'm trying to say.
Honestly, we are talking about a topic about 30-something minutes. We could have talked about this like because it's so nuanced. It's a touchy subject because you talk about politics. People love politics. And you talk about music. You talk about sports. But this topic, the violence in Jamaica, is a big deal, and nobody really knows how to solve it. But the only thing I can say, we have to start change the way we in my estimation, we have to start change the way we speak and think. In saying that, we need to have forgiveness, bro. If somebody says something to you, the first thing shouldn't come to your mind and say, them for dead. It's becoming ridiculous. Established countries don't do this, bro. Established countries don't do this. Jamaica is one of the most popular countries in the entire world. Established countries don't do what we are doing and kill off each other. We have the highest murder rate in the Caribbean and South America. It's unbelievable. It's ridiculous. So I mean, I don't know if it's the music is the problem, but I do know that our vocabulary and our behavior towards each other need to change, bro. Seriously, we need to start talking about your forgiveness. Don't worry about what people say about you. If somebody step on your shoes, move on. If you are fighting over family land, stop fighting over family land, bro. It's ridiculous, man. It doesn't make any sense. Honestly, it don't make no sense. The more and more you think about it, your woman cheat on you. I know you're a woman, bro. It's a relationship. If your woman cheat on you, go in there, come cry. Call me, put my phone on mute. Cry to me.
Jiggy, talk about that. I just got a voice note. When I'm watching just all one thing about this woman in St. Anne who leave one man, and the man they call the woman and tell her, say, him I go kill her. And he said, go report it to the police because you left me, I'm going to kill you. How does the police stop that?
Yes, so that is society, bro. That is very commonplace. Remember, say from high school, people talk about common law. This is very common in Jamaican society, right? A woman can't walk out of a relationship from where youth. It's still going on today, and it's worse today because now it's on social media and glorified, and people say around this and say, "Yeah, the girl fi dead, man. Yes, the girl fi dead." Like it doesn't make any sense, bro. Shane, you wanna go say something, Shane?
But if you even look at it also, Jiggy, like for example, a few ladies have died recently, and it's not a big thing again. It's not the topic of conversation. Oh, we need to protect our ladies and whatever like that. But if you hear, what is our solution? Kill them. We must kill the one who kill the one. So our solution to violence is more violence. Our solution for violence is more violence.
Actually, my issue with the whole thing with the ladies who have died recently is actually women. Because women have come out and say, oh, why did she go in the car? And women have come out and say, oh, it's because she's brown and pretty, why people care. I am disturbed by what women have said about the women who have died by men. It has boggled my mind. I don't even know like where to start to comment on it, because you would think that women would in this time, women would come and be unified with one voice. Hey, protect us, help us. You know what I'm saying? But they are dividing.
Jamaica has a culture of victim blaming. We find a way to say this is the reason why that should have happened, and this is why if you never do this, it wouldn't have happened. You know, it's victim blaming, and that's what I hear a lot, and you're right. And a lot of the time it comes from other women. It's shocking. But also our men don't stand up enough for women. We don't talk loud enough in support of the women. You know, we need to talk louder and stronger about it, you know, and talk to our friends, because we know our friends, you know, and we hear our friends them talk about it sometimes, you know, and we sometimes don't get them and say, no, you cannot do that. You know, we as men need to talk up, you know, and support and tell we friend them when we hear them and go through certain things. And they think and say, enough time, they said it before they do it. And them friend, other men, did not tell them, say, no man, you're wrong. You don't own the woman. As somebody's daughter, mother, sister, you cannot do stuff like this. You know, we need to take responsibility about it, you know. And I don't think we take enough.
Yeah, as I said, on this topic, it's a very touchy subject. I don't know what's the right thing, but all I can say is that the way we think as Jamaican as a whole, from the high in the social ladder to the low in the social ladder, we have to start changing the way we speak. We have to start changing the way we think, and we can't sit down and agree with people who are making ridiculous statements. The way we talk to each other off camera, the way we have conversations, it has to start changing, right? I'm saying, hey, don't worry about that. That's not a big deal, you know, and trying to basically convince ourselves about doing the right thing before it should happen. Because, bro, we are human beings. It should come up in life, right? Somebody's wife is going to cheat on them. Somebody is going to step on your toe. Somebody's going to crash into your car. Somebody's going to want your land. Someone's going to steal from you. At the end of the day, your goal cannot be, let's go and kill them because I am hurt. And that is all it is. You hurt me, I'm going to kill you. Regardless of what it is, I'm going to kill you. It can't be that. It doesn't make any sense.
Greg.
I thought just crossed my mind. Because I think about, all right, a lot of the violence happening these days is really young generation. You know? Them are the real attack them, you know. I mean, yeah, you have a few 25 and older who've been doing stuff, or 30 and older who might still be doing stuff. But a lot of them is 22 and younger. You know, you see wanted lists come out now, whole heap of them, 17, 18, 19-year-olds. And I was thinking to myself, I sit down and listen to talk a while ago, and I just think way back, starting way back. Because a few days ago, somebody said to me, say, boy, them respect the changes that we make. Like, you know, now if me at the ball field in here, me and the youngsters and we talk, like, you know, the way them address me now and the conversations I have with them. And he must say when him just know me, like, a whole heap of time on the ball field, I mean, somebody in a disagreement. Like, when he hear I come out of my mouth, he must say, yo, what dog this taste? I mean, I say, you know, me think me did humble do, but, you know, sometimes when somebody cross you, like, we were also a bit retaliative and vengeful when we were growing up. I mean, don't you think that was in us too? Like, you go somewhere, go party with your friend, them blacks. I mean, you know, I think kill them, you know. Where I think beat them a boy there. They go bust a boy the head. You know? We were thinking of doing some kind of harm to somebody who offended us. And the bigger the offense was, the more revenge you were planning on taking. Now, the difference is, nowadays, their level of revengefulness have evolved tenfold, you know? So them I think kill them now, and them have them weapons evolved too. I mean, blacks, when you're 13, you're probably not even have your ratchet yet. You have a hose, the garden hose with the knife, you know? Probably that still have a walk with. You see me? Now, 14-year-old, you have a pistol already, but you're 16, you was a 16.
Or access to it, you know?
Yes, so your level of revenge is higher than what Greg used to think back in a few days. When a family days, a river stone, a stone wall.
Yeah. Well, Greg, you know, a couple years ago, I remember I had this seminar at work, and two things this brother said to me, and they have never, I think I was about 20 when I hear it, and they never came out of my head. And the first one he said to me is, he said, if it is to be, it is up to me. And me always look on this and they say take personal responsibility. But the most important thing what he said to me at the time was that the stimulant does not dictate the response. And we have this mentality because somebody do this, you have to do that. Listen, the one thing that you have control over is your reaction. You actually have to choose to react one particular way. No care how much you think say it is you just react. That's the only thing you have a chance to control. You control your response. I don't care what a person want to say. I believe that you control your response. And right now, our response in Jamaica overall is that them fi dead. And until that response change, nothing else will change. That's the response that we choose. That's our go-to response. And them need to change that.
Blacks, I agree to what you're saying. Don't want to call anybody name, but we're seeing where should I say celebs, sons, and these people getting into trouble because these very same circumstances. But moral of the story, look, is to the point where we can take responsibility and say, yes, somebody do me wrong, but I'm not gonna let the situation get the best of me, where my response is it have to be dead, as you say. Now gonna make the crowd face me like say, oh, they more look for me and say, oh, but you are fooling, because the boy this him, and him just take that this so, like we have to man up and no business what people want to say. Like you say, the response, like have to reach that stage the way me and him are war. Him diss me, sometimes I can't say, sure, make it go on. Have to result in a war and somebody dead. Have to be that. Me not have to listen to the crowd and say, yo, say, boy, this me and him for dead for real. Like, black out the mentality there. I'm not saying all the time, but, try to see if we can resolve the situation a different way first. Always have to be, the boy this me and him for dead back or something. Have to be that. We can take a different road.
Well, it kind of help if you surround yourself with people who is more mature or further along in the development mentally. You know what I mean? Because if the boy do this, and then you're around idiots, then go say to you, say, you have to go page him, right? Yep. So it depends on who you surround and get a serious thing, who's around you. Because again, we're all emotional, and we do react on emotions. And then if you have, again, idiots around you and say, yo, let's go take care of this, then again, you go 10 feet, get up and go do. So again, we have to be more self-reflective and try to surround yourself with people who go somewhere. That's the issue. And then that start going in a realm of the community you're from and the people you're around. Most people don't have them kind of leader there around them, young people, because young people, as we all say, I do these things, they don't have the individuals that can guide them the right and proper way around them. So you're kind of product of your environment, aren't you? It's crazy.
I have fallen off in this, and but it's something that affected me from the high school days. It affected me. Where that same argument that Shane just used, you need to surround yourself with people who are smarter, upward mobility, and all that type of stuff. And the thing that affected me then and now I don't blame myself for it now. But remember that one time my mother tell me, say, why am I not go associate myself with some other kids, who were in the neighborhood, in the community, who were, better at school and doing all these good stuff. Why am I always associate myself with these other guys? And it was a thought I couldn't articulate at the time. But me say, so suppose me are the one who go save somebody else. You keep saying that I must associate myself with somebody else. So somebody else will save me. Suppose I am the one who's going to save one of these other guys. Which is why I always associate myself with quite a few of people who were not of the best character. But guess what? They listen to me. I wasn't there listening to them. I wasn't there following them, but they actually listened to me. I have stopped a lot of them in my life from doing something foolish. And even now, one of the things that I think we still don't do enough right now is actually reach back and help somebody out of somebody who's below, somebody who cannot do anything at all for us, somebody who needs that guidance. how much of us are actually still reaching back and talking to these people? You may not save, you may talk to 100, and maybe only one you save, but the one you save, maybe the one that was going to come and kill you. So we need to actually think about that. Not only say we need to associate ourselves with people who are of a better caliber, but we, even if we're not there as yet, even if we're not fully formed human beings as yet in our thinking, but we start to think so, because it's a link that it's hard when if one professor, when we're growing up, if one professor, somebody who go to university, come and talk to us and tell me certain things. Listen, my man, there's no connection between me and that person. But if the person who is just slightly above me, in my view, who is willing to tell me, say, no, blacks, no, girl, you can't do that, you are more likely to listen to that person sometimes. So that link is what in my mind is broken. Because if the Prime Minister, there's a disassociation between the Prime Minister and the youths. But more regular men like me and you and all of us right here need to have these conversations and try to be the influence to some of these youths. And I don't think enough of that go on, because we're all trying to climb this ladder and not realizing that we need to help the ones who are right behind us, because they need somebody to tell them. If everybody shun that boy in the community who everybody says a bad boy, then what do you expect him to do? Who do you think he's going to learn from? His mother is telling him, why don't you go and have a conversation or associate with somebody better? And the person better, mother is telling him, no, he must go to somebody better. So who's going to talk to the next person behind him? We also have to look at it that way. And it's something that I always express with my kids. I always say, listen, if you're in a crowd, make sure you're at the front. Make sure you're at the front. But there's nothing wrong with a crowd. You can lead a crowd. There's nothing wrong with it. But we have to be that link also. And sometimes we are so much looking for upward mobility for ourselves. We're not looking, so we need to actually pull somebody behind us also.
I'm going to add to that. Jiggy, you have nothing to say? We are close off now.
Yo, I don't really have anything more to say. I mean, I can just say what Black said too, I know she was saying that you can associate with those peoples, but at the same time, if you have 5 young men who think the same, that's anybody diss them, they might go back at them. That it's hard for that group to change. You're going to need a mentor who is strong enough to go in and say, listen, what about thinking about this in this way, right? And we as individuals who are reading, who have had life experience, we already went through that and we made it, right? They're jail, nobody's hunting you to kill you, so you made it. That's what I'm talking about, made it. I'm not saying you got millions of dollars, whatever. I'm saying that you got jail, nobody look for kill you right now, you're good. So I'm saying that now that you look back at your life experience and say, hey, I went through that already that you're going through. How can I help you? As someone to say, hey, don't do that. Or why should you not do that? These are the things I'm talking about, when I talk about violence, changing the way we think, articulating how we feel, right? Not abusing women, not trying to go kill our brother, the person in our community. We have too many fatherless kids, bro, and motherless kids because of violence that it's unnecessary, and it's a conversation that we need to have even outside of this platform. Shane, you want to say something?
Oh, no, I'll just say that we have to be practical with these things. The kids, the younger generation that we talk about, the people who help skew or create their mindset is the entertainers. It really is. I mean, they can run from them moral. Well, it's not moral. Well, they can run from their responsibility, but they help me foster how these young people look on life, and they really need to take that into consideration. You understand what I mean? So these kids who don't really have any mentors, what can help to curb their mind? And again, I'm serious. That like back in the days when I was growing up, early 2000s. When we fall back at Jamaica and start talking to people and start to develop my character and my whole outlook on life. It wasn't only intelligent people, it was actually individuals who was not as intelligent, but then at the same time, then just had a more humbler look upon life, a more reserved look upon life, a more balanced look upon life. And that helped me out a lot. And listening to certain music, culture music, things like that. help me feel kind of foster a certain level of thinking. Entertainers do have a lot for account with these people, these young people, and how them think, Bridget. I promise you. Go ahead, Greg.
All right, it's a closing statement, basically.
Yeah, the floor is yours.
All right. To kind of expand on what Black said, when you talk about people who are, close to your level, whether it be intellectual, age group, status in society, whatever it is, when he was talking, I can recall an incident. I remember about mid-teens, mid to late teens, whenever no crime, but we are give trouble. I give a little trouble at night time on the road. And it got to the point where every morning complaints gonna make to some of my mother. You have a few elder people on the road where complaints are make to each and every one of our parents morning time. Now me and my virgin where I guess Jiggy and Bojo probably know. We live next door, and once for him yard I get complaint, my yard I get complaint. Or even if my yard I get complaint, once the complaint I make over him yard, my mother hear it. Now we have big people who continue to talk to we are other people who continue to talk to we, and we are get regular schooling them. But we still do what we had one night time. And one day one youth where probably got we about 5 years, then you look run off, giving trouble and getting us some serious things. Couple near death experiences for him, but him survived them. And one day he called my brother and he said, "Yo, no coming." Him said, "Me tell you this. He said everything when I do that and more." He said, the big people in the community, first they make go tell them, have respect to them. Make them sooner and love you, and always have good to say about you. He said, cause you saw Mr. Lawman come for you, then I ask no friend them about you, I don't know, no friend them never get reference from no friend them can come a courthouse go talk for you, as seen as in the community. You see me? I mean, remember that when he said out of the conversation, but he said a lot more. But the fact that he was able to sit us down and give us a reality check, because this is some of the way we used to look on and I say, yo, I'm not calling you, like, let's say name Blacks. I say, oh, Blacks are bad, man. Because we say Blacks are growing, so go fire some shut off for them man there, and, So we have this ratings fee as a stepper from back then. But the fact that he was able to sit us down, give us a reality check. I mean, I don't know if my rest of friend them want to take heed to it, but it click. Me think about what he say. And me try after that, if I even respect the elders, I'm like, people couldn't have nothing bad figure to me mad about. Me not say might not get trouble still, but there are certain things where happen where you don't let, never used to make scenes in the community know. So to add to what you say, Blacks, sometimes we who they are level above, 2 levels above, but we can identify with somebody who they get in trouble or who they do things. Sometimes we are the easiest person to reach out to them, or we might be the most likely person for them to listen to. They might not listen to Jiggy because Jiggy might forward and sound too intellectual for them. But Buju go sound like a Chilani in come from when I chat to them. So they might pay more attention to Buju. But yeah, you have a very good point there. We need to start looking at ourselves too and see what is it we can do. How can I help you to make you better? Sometimes that is what we need to do. Alex,
you still get trouble, youth. Alex, man. Yo, maybe all the way back half in the head, You see? I the real Michael Blacks and Alex me still,
Yeah.
So that's it.
Alex, big up yourself, kid. Big up yourself, man.
Yo, Alex, like 19. What do you mean? My man means I'm going to take a nap. How kind of man this man?
Yeah, you have a point. You do look sleepy.
Yeah. Can we please wrap up so Bojo can go to bed?
Yeah, man.
Yo, I'm going to tell you from 4 o'clock this morning.
Earlier, I meant to say intimate partner violence. Yeah, intimate partner violence. That's what I meant to say earlier.
Anyway, it was a good show tonight. I never see the show going this direction. You know, we planned it at having 30-minute show.
30 minutes.
Cruising in on 2 hours smoothly, but on a positive note, I'm like it, you know.
Easy.
I think we need not just us, but other people who have platform and who can lend a hand. Forget more of this type of conversation out there, you know. The youths they need somebody to look up to who not have father figure and all of them things there, you know. So like me say, I like the energy and I like the feedback them and all on the perspective, you know. Hopefully the message can get across to at least one, you know, and that one they can make a change or walk down the side of the road. But yeah, so you see right here we got all of the good content from Full Sports TV. We're very versatile. Very.
Yo, but you are gonna call my wife, you know, before you get
yeah, right. Yeah, the comment section, you know. So yeah, like I was saying, it's where we just can hear closing in the show tonight. Full Sports TV, Big Up Sports with Greg, Jigidan, Blacks, Shane Kirby. It was a pleasure. Good show. And if you're new here, subscribe to the channel. Subscribe. Don't forget. Subscribe and share. Subscribe.
When again? Monday night? Premier League review and Champions League preview?
Yeah.
Okay,
I will watch along if you're not available.
For Arsenal beating Liverpool?
Yeah, for sure.
We can do that.
Let's see what we do Arsenal Liverpool review.
No, watch along.
Oh, watch along. Oh, okay.
All right.
Chelsea first I play tomorrow. I think at 12:30 last game, Brian.
Yo, lift up a man, I want to lift up a man. Yo, Brian.
Okay.
Yo, anyways, manners and respect, you know.
Yeah.
Brian,
respect.
All right, bless. And enjoy the rest of the Easter weekend.
Be safe.
All right,
have a happy Easter. And we see you soon.
Bless.
All right.
Yeah, man. Bless.
Respect, y'all.